You've been in a minivan before?
Oh yes.
Because you knew
Hit the button?
fine, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So you going to the airport?
Yeah.
Okay.
In American, please.
Alrighty. Mr. Skip, do you mind if I record the ride for my YouTube channel?
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you. And if you change your mind, then you can drop me a line and I'll take it down. Not saying that I will publish it, but I record all my rides and some of them I publish online.
That's if you find the passenger interesting.
Yeah, the passenger interest. I find all people interesting, really. It is that some people just don't feel like talking.
Are willing to share their story, and others and communicate, and others aren't. Yeah.
So yeah, they'll say like, "Oh yeah, sure, you can publish it," and then the whole ride there's no talk, and then I go like, "No, that's not gonna work."
Right.
Or I've also had conversations that became too personal, just too private, really, where people open up. You have an interesting conversation at first, but then it's just, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you think, no, this is just none of people's business, really. This is a private conversation, that can also happen, and that's fine too. So
yeah. Well, you're not a psychiatrist. You're just a human being that is interested in what other people have to say.
Yeah. Are you a psychiatrist?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I've
just checking.
Excuse me. But I've worked with a good psychiatrist many years ago.
Okay.
Very good. I say psychiatrists are like a lot of professionals, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. There's good ones, and then there's great ones.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain people that God has really given an ability to really be good at what they do.
Yeah.
And when you find people that are in that classification, generally, if you've got any, common sense or intelligence, you can recognize it because they're better than most.
Yeah, people with a gift.
Yep.
It's maybe that is also the art of life, is to try to find your gift, and we all know our gifts, what we're good at, I think, but it's sometimes hard to express that in society. Let's say it like that, right?
Well, it's the advice you give to many people, and it takes you maturity to figure it out.
Yeah, but exactly.
You need to do what you're really happy doing, and if you're really happy doing it, you generally will do it well.
Yeah.
And
my dad would also say that there's often a red thread in your life.
Yeah.
That connects all the dots, and look at that red thread, the path that you're walking, and then there's often something logical on that route, and those are usually the things that you love doing and that you're good at. Yeah. May I ask, what do you do?
Well, I'm involved. My business is heating and air conditioning.
Okay.
I'm a wholesaler. My core business is in Chicago, and I'm the wholesaler for Carrier Air Conditioning in Chicago. Okay. However, I sold my company about a year ago, but I'm still operating it. I'm still president and CEO. So I'm working, but I'm not working as hard as I used to.
Well, that's a blessing, right?
Oh yeah. Very lucky. Yeah. Not a very glamorous business, but when you're going to Chicago like I am right now, and it's 0 degrees and a wind chill of 30 below, you need heat.
You're going to be the hero of everybody over there.
I've been a hero many times. So.
You're going to save people's lives.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as there's electricity, though.
Yeah.
Then I have a question of you, though, because how does it how is it possible that the same device in my home is able to and be an air conditioner and be a heater?
Is it, do you have one device or is it two devices?
No, I believe it's one device. It's one ventilator outside.
One big unit outside.
Big unit
and,
outside, and then an air sucker and blower on the inside.
Well, no, you have what you have is an air conditioner, for lack of better words. The condensing unit is outside.
Right.
And inside there's what they call a fan coil. It's a fan with a coil in it. And the coil and the air conditioner make your cooling. And then there's I'm pretty sure you probably have this, an electric strip heater that will make heat. So there's another component to the fan coil, which is probably either in your attic or closet or in the garage.
Yeah, it's in the closet indeed.
Yep.
In the laundry room.
And that probably has
that's a
big
coil
box.
Yes.
And then there's a piece above it that's a square that's generally will be your electric heaters. So when the heat is called, the fan will come on, and instead of bringing on the air conditioner, it'll turn on those electric coils to provide you heat.
So it's just electrical heat, basically.
Yep. Yeah, it is electric. Yep. Most of what part of Florida are you in?
Well, here in Naples.
Naples, yeah. Most of Florida is electric heat.
Yeah. So that's expensive then.
No, it's not down here. Up north it is. Generally it's not. We don't use a lot of heat here. You know, you're having it maybe on today or tomorrow because it's in the 50s. But it is more. It can be expensive, but it's minimal here. We don't use a lot of electric heat here.
Yeah, that's true. I rarely use it.
Right.
Not even today. House is so well insulated that it's inside. It's still in the 70s.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll turn it on to take the chill out or something, but that's it. Yeah.
And also that's how that works. But so that means that the ventilator outside.
The outdoor is just an air conditioner or condensing unit.
That's only just for the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I got it.
90% of the time it's just for air. They do make a unit that the outdoor unit can provide some heat. But my guess is that's not what you have. My guess is you have what I've described.
Yeah, sounds about right. Okay, that solves that problem.
See, yeah, good.
But I bet that you're going to be busy in Chicago then.
Not too bad. It's Christmas. I'm going up to see my family. My mom is 96.
Oh wow.
My kids are up there, my grandkids, so my family's all getting together tonight and tomorrow, so I'll get a chance to see. I have five brothers and sisters, and lots of nieces and nephews that are flying in from around the country, so it'll be kind of fun.
Wow. Did you rent a place, or where is
No, my mom, we have, my brother's has a large home. My mother still is in her home. We have care for her, but she has a fairly large home, so we're okay. We can do it at our houses. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And I'm sure not everybody sleeps over, probably.
Oh no,
but,
no, yeah.
Like just the get-togethers and at a
some
place.
A couple stay over, and some because my siblings are there, so their kids can stay with their families. So yeah.
You have a big family, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have grandchildren?
Yeah. I have 4 grandsons.
Wow.
Most of my siblings, 4 of us have grandchildren. 4 of us, 2 don't. Yeah. So there's a lot of. We'll have tomorrow for dinner close to 35 or 40 people.
Wow. And who's making that dinner?
Well, that's a good question.
They're going to be busy.
My sisters. I'm Italian, so my sisters will make homemade raviolis.
You look Italian, actually, a little bit, yeah.
And
Chicago, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. The only thing I'm not in the mafia. Just so you get that on tape.
Well, right. That's what he said.
At least he denied it.
I mean, at least he denied it. But look, mafia, that means family. So you're part of the family, I'm sure.
Everybody thinks everybody from Chicago is Italian is in the mafia. Many years ago, there might have been some truth to that, but not anymore.
Look, this video is heating up already. I usually have to ask a few more mafia questions. There goes my subscriptions through the roof.
Well, I can tell you this. I grew up in an Italian neighborhood in Chicago, and where I grew up, it was not uncommon to hear people speaking Italian in their homes and on the corners, on the street. And because many of the people, my grandparents included and whatnot, were immigrants. So there was always, sometimes it was, the mafia was a funny thing. I don't want to get into mafia because I'm not an expert on the mafia. I'm just making it. But people, uneducated people had to find a way to make a living. And sometimes they did things that weren't legal to do it.
Sure.
My grandfather, who came from Italy and spoke very, very broken English. When he first came over, he was digging ditches because he didn't speak English, and the people directing him might have been the Irish or the English because they spoke English, and it was very difficult to advance, just like it is today for some of these Hispanics who don't speak English.
Yeah.
They become your labor force.
Right. So that's what your grandfather did?
Yeah, for a lot of years. Yeah.
He stayed in that business, or did he?
No, he eventually, obviously, as he got older, he moved into worked at a factory for a while, and did that kind of work. But not educated, and wonderful man, just wonderful.
Did you know him?
Oh yeah.
You did? Yeah.
He passed away when I was almost 30.
Oh, you got to know a good deal.
A great deal.
So people actually grow old in your family. Also, the fact that your mom is 96, what a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, I presume that's a blessing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
sometimes I wonder. The quality of life is not so good when you get to that point, but it's.
Yeah.
But I guess it's better than the alternative. Yeah.
Are you religious though, sir?
Oh yeah.
You are?
I was raised Roman Catholic. Yeah.
There you go. So, I don't know. I always feel and find death and the missing of people when they leave us more comforting, knowing that there's a God. I always feel a little sorry for people that say that they don't believe. Okay, well, if you don't believe, that's fine, but it feels so meaningless.
Yeah.
In a way.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think there's some comfort in just thinking, the unknown, that my father, who's deceased, is sitting with his friends or his cousins or whatever it is, or his parents, enjoying himself because my father passed away from ALS, which is a horrendous disease.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Horrendous. And
it's where you lose control of your muscle functions. Yeah.
It's the kind of the opposite of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, you lose your mind, but your body is working. ALS, you lose your body, but your mind is working.
It's what that famous Hawkins guy had, I think, also.
Who is that, please?
Hawkins.
Oh yeah.
He was that famous professor or something. Anyway.
No. What's his name? I forgot his name. Lou Gehrig was a famous baseball player. That's who they were. That's
he also had that.
Yeah, but that's what's after. But yeah, it's not a good disease. But my father was very, very Catholic, and when he was diagnosed, the first words out of his mouth, because he knew it was a very bad diagnosis, and was it's God's will.
that what he said?
First words.
Wow.
And 3.5 months after he was diagnosed, he died.
Wow, that went fast.
Progressed real fast, and he was very clear he was not going to put his family through the pain and torture, nor himself, but his family especially, through watching him die with feeding tubes and ventilators. So, you know, you learn something when somebody is, you learn something in life and you learn something with death.
Yeah,
And what you learn, somebody can be very strong when they have conviction with, to your point, believing that there is, I don't want to use the wrong word, an afterlife or something, whatever it is, eternal space or place, and you're good.
Yeah.
You had a good life, and you know what? Thank you, God, for all the blessings, and
yeah, for all the people that we meet, for all the adventures that we've been on.
yep.
And in life, the sun shines and it rains. If you live in Florida, it's a little bit more sunshine. But you know, what I mean to say is that some people have a little bit better lives, apparently, but you still never want to walk in somebody else's shoes. You know, I'm just grateful for having my own pair of shoes, you know, to walk life in. And
What did you do for a living?
well, I'm an IT consultant.
Oh, okay.
And but you know, the kids are in college, and the rent's going up and up and up and up here in Florida, and so yeah, I do a little bit of Uber driving, and I'm enjoying it.
Good.
And then the YouTube channel is an extension of what I love doing, I guess. I just like sharing the conversations.
Nice. That's great.
And I just started though. I have 3 subscribers. So it's just like, I started last week, and the things I've been talking about is for months already at home. And then finally my wife said, like, well, why don't you just give it a try? See what happens. You won't know until you give it a try.
Right.
And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Good.
You know, and I'm grateful for people's stories like you share with me too. That is, yeah, that is for everybody to enjoy and to learn something from as well, I think.
Where are you from prior to living here in Florida?
So originally I'm from the Netherlands. I met my wife in Haiti.
Oh, cool.
And we lived 10 years in Mexico for my work, and then we lived in Haiti for about 6 years. But finally Haiti just became too dangerous, too many kidnappings, and so finally we left. And because I have 2 American children, they were born in Miami, we moved over here.
Yep.
I'm very grateful to be here, honestly. It's a beautiful country.
People should go spend about 6 months in Haiti to really appreciate living here.
Oh, yeah.
Or many other places in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean the resorts in, you know, Mexico, or get into the gut and the bowels of these countries, and you would really appreciate this country.
People would complain a whole lot less, I think, if you understand the paradise that you're living in the United States. Sure, there's many things to improve, and there's many things that are challenging here as well, but compared to basically most of the world outside, this is still one of the best places to live. Most freedom, for sure.
Yeah.
And that is a great good, because if you cannot live your life in freedom, you know, you cannot express yourself, you cannot be who you want to be. And but it's also difficult for Americans to travel, because the US is so big. It's hard to go to Europe, it's expensive. And you know, not everybody grabs a car and drives to Mexico to experience another culture, because Mexico has a lot of bad news about it too with the gangs and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's sort of scary.
That's
So
right.
how it's difficult for Americans to experience another culture.
Yeah.
Have you been to Europe?
Oh yeah. Been through many parts of Europe. I'm actually going.
Italy, of course.
Yeah, a handful of times to Italy. I've been to Spain, Greece, Austria, Germany, England, Scotland, Ireland. I'm trying to think, France.
Oh, you've been everywhere.
I'm going back to Europe next year, finally, after a little taking some time away because of COVID. But next year, I'm going to do a river cruise
Oh, nice.
on the Danube.
The Danube.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fly into Munich and go through Slovakia and Austria up to Hungary,
Nice.
and then I'm going to extend it into Prague. I've never been to Prague,
Oh, me neither.
so been to Holland a few times.
Yeah, yeah.
Been
Amsterdam.
to Amsterdam. Yeah.
Canals. Did you do a canal ride?
Yeah,
You
for
did?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw the Rembrandt
Been
Museum.
to, went to Rembrandt, smoked pot in a pot, with
There you go.
those little pot joints.
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is
It's
really
a great.
because
It's a great. It's such a interesting place.
It is.
Kind
It's a tempting place, though. Also, you have to
yeah,
be strong. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you have to be able to say no
Yeah,
to
I
certain luxuries in Amsterdam. It's such a free mind kind of thing there. That I think it reaches the borders of what's healthy sometimes. You know what I mean?
well, very, very liberal in a lot of ways.
Exactly. Yeah. But sometimes I wonder if it's not too liberal.
Yeah, I understand. Sure.
Well, a lot of places are too conservative.
Yeah.
Amsterdam is on the side of being too liberal.
Yeah.
But also a lot of people love it, and me, I used to love that too. I really enjoyed that for a while. But a river cruise, that's still on my bucket list too.
I've done it before. I have
On
done
the
it.
Rhine or so?
Yeah, I've done it, and really enjoyed it. You got to get on the right line, and there's. But anyways, yeah, it was really enjoyable. It was a good. It's, it's like taking. It's different than a cruise. I don't want to make the same thing, but from the standpoint that you get to see a lot.
Yeah.
And then you can decide as whether or not you want to go back there.
Sure.
So, for example, I'd never been to Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back to Vienna.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that is more connected to history, I think, of the country. The river cruise. So it's more interesting than the cruise ships from Miami. I mean, those have their own beauty as well.
yeah,
I
they
think.
serve their purpose, They do. For people that want to, see some, get out of the winter or whatever, maybe experience some warm weather or eat to the point of overindulgence.
No return. Yeah.
But,
The other day I had somebody in the car and she said that what I like about a cruise is to sit on my balcony and read a good book.
yeah.
And I thought, yeah, that's how I would do a cruise too.
Well,
Just with a view of the ocean and a good book. Wow.
one nice thing about a cruise is it's totally self-managing. You don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to think, do I have to get in the car and go make a reservation for dinner?
Right.
Any of that stuff. You do whatever you want. You don't have to leave that boat or that ship rather, if you don't want to.
Right.
I mean, it's it can be a really nice vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd like to experience that.
Excuse me.
But so back to the business for one more moment. It's the business did well because you were able to sell it. Otherwise, it would be difficult to sell a person. So, have you been in that same heating and air conditioning business your whole life?
45 years.
45 years, and you started it?
No, I went to work for this company.
Okay.
And then worked my way up and ended up taking ownership of it about 20 years ago.
Wow.
But I have, I'm in 7 states and have 500 employees.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is not just Chicago. No, you spread your wings. And so is it still growing, or
yes.
how's it going?
It's going well.
Wow.
Even, it was, my kids are not involved, and I really didn't have another generation. So I'd come off 3 or 4 really good years and just felt it was the right time to sell it, which worked out fine. And they pay me a lot of money to stick around, which is good.
Well,
I don't mind
all the experience.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not under the same pressure I was when it was my money and dealing with the bank and all baloney I had to deal with. And it's a different pressure, but not nearly the same pressure. So
nice.
It's been really very, 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 very fortunate. I'm able to continue to do something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I can live in Florida. I go up usually once a month, meet with my executives and whatever I need to do. If I need to go see some customers or whatever I need to do for 4, 5, 6 days, and then I come back, and it's not too bad. I would be bored to death if I wasn't working. I don't. Unfortunately, I wouldn't even know how to set up a YouTube camera.
Well, that's why you have people like me.
Right, exactly.
You used to come on online on YouTube.
But I don't. And that's probably one thing. It is what it is. I mean, life is. I always tell everybody it's about having balance in your life.
Yeah.
Work shouldn't be consume you, nor should your. I mean, and I hate to say it in a different way, but nor should your family. Where you don't know how to work because you're too consumed with your family. There can be extremes both ways, and it's all about having balance. And I don't have a lot of hobbies. I play golf. I'm not very good at it, but I play.
Nice. But Naples is also the place to do that.
Yeah, Naples isn't too bad. It's a nice place to be. There's a saying about Naples. If you want to know what you're going to look like in 20 years, move to Naples.
Oh, really? Because people don't get older in Naples.
No, they get old here. Everybody else is old but us.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
You want to know what you're going to look like in 20 years, move down here. How long have you been here?
2 years.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm probably the youngest person of Naples. There's young people, but I remember noticing when I just arrived, I noticed like, oh, so many old people. You hardly see any young people driving around, walking around. But you get quickly used to that, and then it becomes normal. And now when I go to Miami Beach or you go to another place, all these young people.
Yeah.
And it's just Naples is a little different, yeah.
Yeah, it's an older environment, no question,
yeah.
and it's becoming a more the cost of living in Naples is expensive.
Yes,
and especially the housing. And if you have anything that is west of 41, it's very expensive.
Oh yeah.
And you have to go east to get better opportunity for housing. But
that's the only thing about Naples. It's a little expensive.
yeah.
But you pay a price for living in paradise.
Yep.
Because it's safe.
Very safe.
You know, there's good quality restaurants and shopping opportunities, and that is why Naples is popular, and that makes prices go high.
Yeah, I you know, coming from Chicago, which has now become a dangerous city.
Oh, is it?
I mean, it's not a very, you know, unfortunately, we have reactive policing, not proactive. So as a result, you don't stop the criminals, you don't even chase them, and you don't prosecute them. Well, you're going to have some degree of lawlessness, which is what's happening up there. But
I heard it's underfunded.
no,
No?
I wouldn't go that far. That's probably a little extreme. It's just not being the legalities of how they're directing policemen to operate is different than it was since George Floyd.
Okay.
When George Floyd happened, it changed the whole dynamics of policing, and it is what it is. It's just, in other words, somebody will commit a crime now, and the police won't chase them. If they don't catch them right in the act, they don't chase anymore. They don't go to try, and even if they catch half of them, they go in and they're bonded out very shortly. So it's just different. It's just the way it is. But when you come to Naples, I've been here for, you know, basically for 10 years on and off. I've never once felt unsafe.
No.
Never once. Yeah.
Me once in the Uber, but I don't consider that Naples. Things do happen in Naples, but it's rare.
Yeah.
It really is. And but that's also the blessings of a small community, you know.
Right. Right.
Where we have sufficient police. The police is out there, and I would say proactive as well, because you often, you know, patrolling.
Yeah. I went to college in Arizona, and I always thought I'd end up back in Arizona, but the problem with Arizona is when you come out of Chicago, your first attraction is to get out of the winters.
Sure.
So January, February, March, April are cold months in Chicago.
Mm.
You come to Naples, and okay, we have a little blip here, but it's usually 78 to 82 every day.
Right.
And it's the most beautiful weather in the world.
Right.
And it's 2 hours, and it's just a wonderful place. When you go to Arizona, it might be 74 degrees or 72 that day and not a cloud in the sky. But the minute that sun goes down, it's 40 degrees.
Yeah, not bad.
And now you have to put a jacket on. And we don't have that down here. So Southwest Florida is probably the nicest consistent winter weather in the country.
Yeah, we get these patches of cold air, like
it's
today.
okay.
Actually, the temperatures just dropped on us. It was like in the 80s 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And within an hour or 2 hours, it was in the 60s.
Right.
And I wake up to this morning, it's in the 40s.
Yeah.
It really dropped on us. It's so weird. Yeah, these cold fronts that come in from the north, they just. But I love it actually. I love a cold.
It's nice. It's a nice break. Yeah.
Oh, a nice break.
Well, the nice to know that it won't be here for long. By Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be 80 degrees again.
That's why you can enjoy it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, here we are.
Very good. Thank you for your
American, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice chatting with you, Skip.
Thank you. Pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll publish it tonight. You can have a look at it, and like I said, if you change your mind, drop me a line. but give it some time, will you? Because publishing stories on YouTube, like nowadays, it's all like 1-minute clips that
Yeah.
everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And I like just to put the whole conversation out there. People should sit and enjoy a conversation.
Sure.
And I consider myself a little bit like the classical music of YouTube kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Because
I think it's cool. I think it's really cool that you're doing it. I think it's it's obviously something you've been thinking about for a while, and
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and every person that you speak to is interesting, really.
Yeah.
And this was only 20 minutes. We barely touched the surface, but it's already interesting.
Well, I was going to start talking about the mafia, but I thought I better get off of that.
Yeah. No.
I was going to start to tell you about all the gangsters that lived in my neighborhood, but
Yeah,
then I
right.
thought that's not a good idea. You publish that, now I got to look over my shoulder.
Exactly. I just thought, uh-oh, he's talking about the Italian neighborhoods. Uh-oh. Yeah, no, that would have been one of these videos that I couldn't publish, but in this case, we steered away from that. And plus you meet people from all walks of life. I've had junkies in the car, I have business people like yourself in the car that come from Chicago, and everything in between, you know?
Yeah.
And the nice thing is also that there's a lot of foreigners in Naples, so it's not as wild as Miami. Miami is mostly foreign,
Right.
I would say, but here it's like half is American and the other half is like Mexican, Colombian, Venezuela, Haiti, and the Central and South American, Caribbean part of the world. And I just find it fascinating. It's just so interesting. Now, a lot of those stories I also cannot publish because it's often like, you know, non or undocumented people. So yeah, you cannot publish those. But actually, yesterday I had a police officer in the car, and he explained to me exactly what I can tell these people, because once you've been in the US for 20 years, you have a right to get documented. And I understand so well why also, because undocumented people, they make sure they do not get in trouble. And they don't do anything illegal except for being undocumented, I guess.
Yeah.
Because once you get caught doing anything, they send you home.
They'll deport you,
They'll deport you. And so they make sure that they don't do anything
Right.
illegal, that they don't get in trouble, they don't drink, they don't misbehave, and all of these things.
Yeah.
That those are your best workers. Those
Yeah.
are your Class A citizens, except
They don't pay taxes.
they don't. Exactly. That is a good point. That is a good point. But after 20 years, you offer them their chance.
Yeah. Well,
And,
I'm
that's
okay
okay.
with most of it, except we have laws and rules and regulations, and it would be nice if everybody followed them and did it the right way.
Well,
That's my only comment. It's not about not helping people or finding people with this. Maybe you loosen those laws, but you have to have some guidelines. Otherwise, what you have is what you have, a free-for-all. People just sneaking over walking, putting themselves in peril and all the things they do to get here, which is, I don't know if that's not the right answer either.
Well, yeah, that's because their countries are in such
Such
disarray.
terrible,
And,
right? Which I know you know from living in Haiti.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you
You
again.
wanna
Yeah,
check
I'm going to go inside, but thank you. I'm not even going to check it back. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Skip. There you go.
I'll let you shut it. Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Be safe.
Okay, bye-bye.